Alright guys, in today's video we're going to be reviewing all of these different guns in Pavlov Shack Beta. This is the Oculus Quest 2 App Lab version, and this is going to be off of my opinion personally. Alright, and then we'll just start with the pistols, and we'll go over to the shotguns, the SMGs, and then the rifles. Alright, so my least favorite pistol is probably got to be the revolver. It does good damage, but you only have 5 shots, and the reload could take a while. The accuracy is pretty good, but once you waste those 5 shots, and the guy's shooting back at you, it's gonna take a minute to shoot him again. My second least favorite will probably have to be... Now, I don't really have anything bad about this gun to say. It's just, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. You can see, if you bring that back, these are the bullet holes that they made right here. And you can see it doesn't do much compared to like the revolver and stuff. But it's not a bad gun. It's just, I don't prefer using it much at all. The next gun on my list will probably be this one right here. The thing about this gun is that it has burst shots, so it shoots 3 at a time. But if you see right there how I was shooting that, if I aim right at my target, maybe like 1 or 2 bullets actually hit, and then the last bullet goes into the ceiling way above his head. You can, however, switch it to single fire, which is pretty good, but I still don't usually use this gun often. So, my next least favorite gun, this gun right here, only because of how much ammo you could have in one round. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just 8 shots, and then you have to reload, which is kind of a bummer. So like, the guy is coming right at me, and I just have to lay all my shots right onto him, and then I'm out. Just quick 2 seconds, and then you're out of ammo, which is not really what you want in this game. My next least favorite would be this gun right here. Now, this is my third favorite gun, mainly because of looks and how much ammo it can hold. It's not a bad gun at all. It's honestly like a really good choice to use right off the start of any game. Like if you say search and destroyed, this would be a good choice when you have $100 to spend on something. I would spend it on that. My next favorite would have to be this one right here. Now this is second place to the Desert Eagle because of how much damage it does. This one, it has like around 20 rounds, but the damage it does is not the best. It's not as good as the Deagle, but it's still really effective and really good for, let's say, like the first round of a search and destroy. It would be really helpful to get some extra money in that. But my favorite pistol has got to be the Desert Eagle, mainly because the damage is just super helpful. 1 shot to the head could really pull in tough situations, and all around just a good gun. The only downside is it only carries around 7 bullets. Then we got these 3 guns. I don't really know how to consider these shotguns or pistols or SMGs, but I'm just going to count these. My least favorite, the double barrel. It is really good. The damage is really good, as you can see right there. It does a lot of damage. It's just the reload. But if you're in, let's just say search and destroy or team deathmatch, you get 2 of these, pop 4 shots. Normally 2 would kill them, but if not, you get all 4 of them. and then you just wait to reload. But the 4 shots could be really useful. My second favorite would probably be the Uzi. This is not a bad gun. This is a really good gun. Some of the recoil can be a pain. And then the amount of damage it does is also effective. But you do a lot of damage with 2 of these, and just even one. It's not the most accurate. My favorite by far in this section, and just these 3, would probably be this. If you get this in a search and destroy lobby, it could be really helpful, especially if you upgrade it, let's say with the laser sight. And then you could probably put one of these on here, and that's a good gun right there. The laser sight has a lot, and it's just all around really good. The problem is you cannot push B to eject the magazine. I know with most guns, like most of the pistols and some of the SMGs or the rifles, press B to auto eject the magazine. But for this one, once you get this all around, you can't really press it. You just gotta automatically do it. But it's a really good gun. I like to use this a lot. Now we're gonna move on to the shotguns. These are the 3 shotguns we have here. My third place for these 3 shotguns would probably be this one. Now I don't hate this gun. It's really powerful. Let's use a new dummy on this one. Very powerful if you get like a scope on it. Pump action is really useful, but the reload could be a problem, especially if you're trying to fight a big amount of people and you come into a problem where there's more than 1 or more than 2 on you, and you just gotta use all your rounds. You only get like 7 rounds before you have, then you're like, oh shoot, gotta take 10 seconds to reload. And usually you don't have to do that. You can load 1 in, shoot, and then reload again. But it's a good gun, it's just the reload could be a problem. Alright, second place in the shotguns will definitely be the Spaz. This is a good gun. If you get 2 of these, it could be very effective. And just the rate of fire is very useful, but the same thing, it's just the reload can be a problem. And you could also put the stock up and down. But this is very good. You inflict a lot of damage on your enemies. Give you out of tough situations, but it definitely doesn't beat my first favorite gun, which is the automatic shotgun. We can go on a new one right here. And this baby unloads a good amount of rounds in this circular magazine. This gun is very useful in team deathmatches or any team matches, or in zombies, which is this gun can be very useful because you see a wave of easily. The only downside is and my arm was pointing down the entire time. But all around, just a very good gun, very useful. Now we're gonna move on to the SMGs. Now this will consist of the LMG, these 2 down here, and all these 4 right here. My least favorite would probably be this gun right here. It does not shoot very well. Let's test it on a target. It sounds bad, and the damage is not the greatest. You go to single fire 2, which is the greatest choice. You go to rapid fire. But if you could look on the aim there, or the accuracy, I don't know, but I haven't moved my arm a single bit when firing this thing. and it goes everywhere. This is not an ideal ranged weapon, not up close, but it is by far my least favorite. I do not use it, and I don't recommend anyone else using it. My second least favorite would probably be this one right here. It is pretty good, but it's kind of like the other one. Single fire, multi-shot, fire. So I do not recommend this one either. Maybe if you're in like a bad situation, this is your last resort, you could use it, but it's not my ideal favorite. My next least favorite would probably be this one right here. The only downside is the weird magazine fitting. It's like normal SMG. I like it. The accuracy is nice. It would sometimes shift. The fire rate is kind of low, but it's a decent gun. It's not terrible, but it's also not like super good. My next least favorite, or let's go to the favorites now. We got 3 left, or 4 left. Coming in 4th place would either be these two, and I'm gonna have to go with this one, mainly because it's just the greatest. And usually the SMGs would have the pullback on this side or on this side. This one is all the way in the back, which is not normal for an SMG. It's an okay gun. It's pretty good. I would recommend it if you're in a certain situation, it's like a last resort. It would be pretty good, but other than that, it is an okay weapon. 3rd place would definitely be this one. This gun is pretty good. You can do rapid fire, single shot, and burst fire. It has the auto eject when you press B. It will eject, and the reload it could be very nice and useful. You add a scope to this or anything to it at all, it could be very useful. And the stock moves as well, so it could be used, which is helpful. It has really good fire rate, and it does. It's really good when you're detective in TTT, which is 3 traders, detective, and many other people. The detective can use this gun with a laser point and a scope, and it does a lot of damage to people. But it is a really good weapon. I would highly recommend using it. Alright, second favorite would definitely be the P90. This gun has about 50 rounds in it. The recoil is a little different, but no, the reload's nice. And if you can attach let's get a scope and a silencer on it, this could be a really good weapon. You just hold it up close like this, and you just go to town on your enemies. Or you can just go single fire, which could help a lot, and I highly enjoy using this weapon. By far one of my favorite weapons in the game, the P90. And then first place for the SMGs would definitely be the LMG. Not only does this thing do a lot, it also has about 100 rounds in it, so you could fight off waves of zombies or multiple people without even still using it. The reload, however, is a bit confusing and it can stumble a bit of people. So what you gotta do is take the magazine out, put it back in, lift the top up and put the bullets in, pull the top down and cock it, and then you're ready to fire. So that's the only downside, is the reload. It takes a minute. You're pretty much unstoppable with this thing if you put a scope on it. you will not be defeated at all in this game. The LMG is definitely by far one of my favorites as well. Alright, now we're going to move on to the rifles. The rifles consist of these two weapons down here, this one, and these two AKs, this M14, and this AUG. So, coming in last place for the the rifles, definitely have to be the FAMAS. This is probably the worst gun in the game. You do have the trigger release to release your magazine when you press B, but as you can see, it's hard to reload this weapon. Usually you would fit your magazine right here, but no, you gotta like do it all the way back here, which is alright. I like it with the AUG, but to cock it does not do well. It is very hard just to, usually you would do it right here with a rifle or back here, but for this one it's different. And then rapid fire, you can see the recoil went through the roof. It's hard to aim with this thing. It doesn't do a lot of damage. As you can see, my scope is in between these two things right here. One right here, one right here. Which is kind of weird because you have more in your vision instead of just a scope. But it's really not the greatest weapon. Do not recommend it. Probably the worst one in the game. My second least favorite would probably be this one right here. I don't use this one a lot. It's kind of like an AK. It's different. The reload is alright. It's just, it looks funky, like with this here. And it just doesn't look like a good gun. You could do a good amount of damage, but this gun, you could go either way. Some people like it, some people don't. My third least favorite gun probably be this one right here. Mainly because it doesn't do rapid fire. It does burst fire. It does burst fire and not rapid fire. It can do single shot though. Single shot is nice with this one. But burst shots, it's not the greatest. It does good damage though. It's a pretty good gun, but it's just not one of my favorites. But you could really do something with it. It does have the B release trigger to release the magazine, and the reload is pretty smooth. And it's a good gun, the same as the other gun. You could go either way. Some people like it, some people don't. Coming in third place, we're gonna have two. Will be the two AKs. The only thing that's different about them is the looks. Like you can see here, these two, they are pretty much identical, just the color. And we'll try the AK-47 first. Most people do enjoy using this gun. It is single fire and full auto. You don't have the B release trigger on it, and it does a good amount of damage too. But third place, it would tie with this one pretty much because it's just in a different style. Single fire too. It does not have the B release trigger either, so third place tied these two right here. Coming in second place would probably be the M14. This is all around a good gun. It is a very fun gun to use. The damage is pretty high, but like single fire too. It's a good gun too. I like to use it, especially with a scope or a silencer. But it definitely doesn't meet first place gun, which is the AUG. The AUG is a really good weapon. It has the same type of reload as the FAMAS, except for it has the cock right here, or you cock it right here. And just being able to use this with a scope. The rapid or the semi-automatic mode is not the greatest, especially in longer range combat. Single fire, you put this in single fire, for me, it feels really good, and I'm usually able to hit my targets here, and I'm able to get a lot of rounds in without there being much recoil on it. I'm gonna see how fast I can do it without much recoil. And as you can see, it is a pretty good weapon, and it does a good amount of damage. Highly recommend it as my #1 rifle. Now we're going to move on to the sniper rifles. Coming in the bottom would definitely be this one. I do not use it at all. I do not recommend anyone using it. It is not a good gun. You gotta use one shot, you reload, and then you get another shot again. You cannot put scopes on this at all. So you have like 0 to no accuracy, and you only get about 5 bullets, and then you just gotta put it right back in there and just try and reload that and then get the one shot. And all around, not a good gun. Do not use this as a sniper or your sniper rifle at all. Second least favorite would be this gun. It is pretty good. It does a good amount of damage. It's just the reload is different. Usually you would pull the magazine out, or you would press B to flick it out. This one, you gotta put it in through the top and then push that. And then you get a few shots in. It's not terrible. Third least favorite would probably be the hunting rifle, or the bolt action. This one, it does a good amount of damage. It's pretty much an instant kill if you hit someone, or it does half damage to someone if you hit them in the body. You get 5 shots with it. You do have to hold it with 2 hands though, or else it will fall. But it does have the B release trigger on it, where you hit B and it releases. It is all around a really good weapon. I would highly recommend using this, especially in team deathmatch, like on the bridge or anywhere else, really, where you're just trying to get that quick kill. And there's only probably like one guy, maybe. It's a pretty good gun. It's very solid, especially if you have another gun with you, just to switch back and forth, just in case you get in a bit of a scenario where you can't use your other gun. Now we're in the top 3. Third favorite would probably be the 50 cal. And yes, most people use this. The few things about this gun. 1, you cannot put a scope on it. You can only put a silencer on it. 2, you gotta hold it with 2 hands. 3, the reload could take a while, as you get 1 shot each time. And then just trying to aim this, it's hard to hit a shot like that, but if you're able to manage to hit it, you're able to instantly kill anyone, no matter how much armor they have, or wherever you hit them. It's an instant kill, and it is really effective. My second favorite would probably be this one right here. It is a good weapon. It is pretty much just like the yellow one right there. The thing about this one is that you can't press B to release, and then you just gotta reload. The reload is nice, the aim is nice, the accuracy, not a lot of recoil, and it's a really good gun to use, especially in like ranged gunfights. It is really good with damage, and it could really help in certain situations. First favorite would definitely be this one. Pretty much just like that one. Good damage, good fire rate, not a lot of recoil. But this one has the release trigger to where you can press B to release. So those were my favorite guns in Pavlov Shack Beta so far in the game. I hope they release updates, and I hope they release new guns to where we could use different ones. but these guns work just fine. The ones I specified as my favorite are enough for me. I will try and do another video where we do World War II guns, which is a completely different setup, and there's gonna be guns that are like very old and modern, and I don't really use most of them, so if my critiquing is bad, please let me know. But anyways, this was my favorite. These are my favorite guns from each category, and thank you for watching.